Hello, welcome back to 3N ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing. This is Grace.
Hi, this is Gowri, and we are moving on to our ABC dialogue for this Anything Can Happen Friday.
Yes, today is a Funky Friday, so we're gonna talk about something interesting and also very attractive.
Something,
Yes.
something that has been quite an issue of recent.
And then I will call this topic as Chinese Apple topic.
Chinese Apple topic.
Yes. So
Chinese versus US, actually.
yes, this phone called Xiaomi has been surprisingly highlighted in this phone market industry, and the Chinese are certainly smartphone crazy and addiction. And then this particular country in China has a large mobile market, and Xiaomi, this particular brand, has almost overcome Apple brand in the last few years.
And smartphones are something that everyone is addicted to, and choosing a smartphone is very important,
And it's also very convenient.
it's very, very pricey. So when you choose your phone, you want to make sure that it's got all the specs that you need. It's got all the features, and that it can last long. It's not fragile, doesn't break easily. That the software is stable. And of course, for the longest time, Samsung has been very popular. Back then, when it first started out with the whole smartphone craze, I think it was BlackBerry really that started out with the smartphone thing. And then there was HTC, and then Samsung picked up really, really quickly, as well as Apple with their innovative iPhone inventions. And but recently, like you said, a lot of other brands have been emerging as well, and
one of them is
Xiaomi, which we will be looking at today.
And from the look of it, it actually looks very similar to HTC and also Nokia. And the size itself is very easy to grab in your hand. And one of the best feature that this particular phone has the battery life. You can use all those apps, WhatsApp, or the chat applications, and the battery itself lasts a little longer than a day. And I will say that's pretty strong battery life that this phone has, and this is one of the reasons why this phone has become so famous and selling really fast in this country, China.
And apart from that, I think after Samsung was giving Apple a very hard time when they came up, because they had almost all the similar specifications, except that Samsung was slightly cheaper than Apple when it first came out. And now it seems that Xiaomi is also giving Apple a very good challenge with their smartphone. And I have an article here from IB Times. It says that despite the limited influence outside China, Xiaomi continues to generate support and market demand, challenging releases from both Samsung and Apple. And Xiaomi's Mi3 actually sold out within a few seconds in India, with over 100,000 people registering, although they only had 20,000 phones in stock.
Yes, they have from my friend, I heard that they always have the limited stock with a particular model, and once they sold, they'll move on to the next model, and then that's when they keep fans, and also this particular model fans, and the people anticipated to get the new product from this company.
And just to look at a little comparison between the Xiaomi Mi3 and Apple iPhone 5s. So I think you mentioned earlier about the battery life, which apparently Xiaomi lasts a lot longer than the iPhone 5. So others will be things like the resolution, the touchscreen type, let's look at the hardware maybe. And it seems that Xiaomi has a higher quad core compared to iPhone 5. And even in terms of storage, the Xiaomi actually has 2 gigabytes compared to Apple, which only has 1.
It looks like a Xiaomi company is targeting for people to use smartphones and Android phones at an affordable price. and also more in a more practical way. So that's when it's gaining a lot of fame and also popularity when it comes to phone choices. And not only in China, but also in Malaysia, I think the influence of Xiaomi phone is coming in. So few of my friends, they also have been using Xiaomi phone and they've been promoting because they love the phones themselves. But then I wasn't giving my full attention to them until I read the news about it. So maybe I'll give it a second thought about this particular phone because
about
I'm
switching to Xiaomi.
because I'm currently use iPhone 5s and it is true the battery life is pretty short, shorter than compared to the Xiaomi Mi 3. Yes, because battery life is really important. You don't need to worry about, when your phone is gonna die. Yes, because other features are more or less the same. The similar features, WhatsApp, all those applications you can download from.
And the interesting thing about Xiaomi is also that it is being named as the Apple of China.
Or Chinese Apple.
Chinese Apple, that's right. And it's actually, of course, based in Beijing in China, and it has been making a lot of profits. And I guess the verdict here, according to this article that I have, it says that but this is looking at the Xiaomi Mi4, not Mi3. It says that it is jam-packed with features that are tantamount to or even better than specs of the Samsung Galaxy S5, and also at a relatively low price. So I guess this really puts Apple and Samsung even in a tough position.
It's one of the attraction keys to people when it comes to phone choices, definitely.
Especially because Samsung has been actually overtaking sales of iPhones in the last year. According to many surveys that I read, even a lot of people in the United States themselves are gradually switching to Samsung instead of using Apple iPhones, because the simple reason being that Samsung phones happen to be more durable. When it falls down, it doesn't break as easily as the iPhone, and I guess it's also a lot simpler to use in a way. And as for the S5, since it's being compared with the Xiaomi Mi4, the writer of the article actually contacted Samsung to ask them why is S5 priced so high, and when Xiaomi has the same specs and it's so much cheaper, but they haven't commented on that yet. So while doing that, actually Xiaomi has all the reasons to enjoy and reap the profits of its, cheap price and high quality smartphones.
And in addition to that, there also a tablet, another tablet called the Mi Pad. It's just like an iPad. So there is a few of discussions regarding this tablet and also the phone, because a lot of people say that why do this company copy the features from Apple? Because in the comparison between this Xiaomi and an Apple, not only the tablet, but also have you heard of the Apple TV, the small squarish mobile devices that you can just connect to watch your TV and video by streaming? So Xiaomi has come up with this product as well. So it's just the color difference. Apple is white, but Xiaomi came up with the black box shape. So it almost has the same feature as Apple. So the discussion has been going on between Apple and Xiaomi company. Why do this company have to copy features from Apple? Yeah, but a lot of people say nothing special, but only the attraction point is the major attraction points are the battery life and also affordable price.
So looking at some statistics. Oh my God. Looking at some statistics here.
What do we have, Gowri?
We have a market research that shows how much Xiaomi has surpassed Samsung's shipments for the first time.
Oh, that's interesting.
So specifically, we have Xiaomi taking over 14% of China's smartphone market already. It just came up, and 14% is, looking at China, is actually a huge number. And apart from that, Samsung and Lenovo. I think Lenovo also makes really good and cheap phones,
and also famous for laptop.
Right, but even they are being overtaken by Xiaomi here, and the three companies actually took 12% respectively, and the growth is substantial with Xiaomi's market share at 7% during the first quarter. And the second quarter result shows an even bigger jump from the company's 5% share in the previous year, and this clearly demonstrates the growing potential of the Xiaomi market.
It looks like Xiaomi is a Chinese new smartphone king in this phone industry.
Is definitely king.
And also they had the recent event in China for fans, and the former head of a product manager in the Google Android, the Hugo Barra, he mentioned that the atmosphere of the event, it was just like a Justin Bieber concert. So I can say that there are really loyal fans out there for Xiaomi phones particularly, and then they're really supporting this brand in China, you see.
Actually, when you said Justin Bieber concert, I cannot decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
But I will say it's just how much they support for this brand. And these are the people who have been following this Xiaomi brand for a long time. And they have all the devices from tablet and Apple TV products. And they read everything about this particular company, Xiaomi, sorry.
And going back to this article that I have, it says that according to Seeking Alpha, Xiaomi's Mi4 value is actually a small price tag, but then it offers such excellent features with their, like you mentioned about the battery life, they have a full HD display, they have a 3GB RAM, and it offers the similar power as the Samsung Galaxy S5, and probably even the same as the iPhone 6. Which has not even been released yet.
It's going to be released really soon, so it's going to be really competitive.
And they've already said that the Xiaomi Mi4 is just going to be the same as the iPhone 6.
Definitely.
And that's really bad because the iPhone 6 is not even out yet. And people are already saying that, there's this phone that's going to be better than the iPhone 6 anyway.
It's already hyped up with all this
that
news.
Is really going to reflect badly on the iPhone 6 sales because... But I mean, if you look at iPhones, especially since the passing of Steve Jobs, there hasn't been much innovation going on. You know, I think the last one will be iPhone 4S. When iPhone 5 came out, a lot of people were expecting a lot from it, but
a lot
there
more
were
improvements.
But there were just minor modifications in the size of the phone and the display, and then there's iOS 7, but it didn't really meet people's expectations.
So, according to the Hugo Barra, he said we are building the best products we can, and also they are looking at how to cater these people's needs and also wants when it comes to phone. One of the reason people buy this smartphone, not only the applications, but because everything is in this one package. So for example, camera, video, recording. So the megapixel of this phone is also very high, around 13 megapixel. It's pretty high quality for camera.
It's higher than Samsung Galaxy 5 even.
So this company really brings the quality when it comes to products, but at affordable price.
And to support the growing market demand and an appeal of Xiaomi's products, Economic Times also reports that the company sold the phone in a huge amount of numbers that outdid their number of units. So every time they try to market it, they get more demand than what they actually have, which is of course a very good sign. But
I think it's also very good marketing strategy right there.
And it's really interesting because going back to smartphones, like what you said, it's all about the specifications. It's all about what you can do with the phone, because if everything is in one phone, then that's perfect. You don't need a separate device to work on something.
It comes with
so
convenience.
You want a big screen, you want a convenient keypad, you want the keypad to be big enough because when you're typing, you don't want your fingers to overlap. And there are all these little things that go into...
So literally just smartphone. Yes, that's when it can serve the people's needs in that sense.
So with iPhone 6 coming out, I'm not sure what are the specs of the iPhone 6 yet, but it's definitely not looking good here, especially with Xiaomi coming up really, really fast. And I'm just looking at 12 most smartphone addicted countries actually, and
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm
Could you
going to
share
look
with
at
us?
India first because since Xiaomi sold out in India within a few seconds.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
India has a total of 44 million smartphone users.
That's
And
a lot of people.
that's almost 4% of their total population.
Mm.
And with that, India is actually the fifth largest smartphone user. And this country, this is reported by SiliconIndia.com. And the reason for this is that people are they just use it for everything, for mobile contents, for games, for useful apps, and especially for business when it comes to sending emails, checking your emails. It just becomes so convenient that you don't even need to have your computer with you. Everything can just be done with your phone. And the next one is, of course, Indonesia, which has 27 million people who are using smartphones. No, this is not just Xiaomi. This is just smartphones in general. And the next one is Russia. Russia also has. I guess it relates directly to the number of people in the country itself. And I think comparing the smartphones, before we do that, maybe we should take a short break, and when we come back we will look at the comparisons between the Apple iPhone 5.
But definitely, just to add to your comments there, this particular company, Xiaomi, is targeting those countries that you mentioned: Indonesia, Mexico, Russia, Thailand, and Turkey. Yes, so we'll come back to elaborate more about this product.
The voice of sharing. Durian ASEAN.
Welcome back to ABC Dialogue. This is Grace.
This is Gowri.
And this is Arlene.
Yes.
I just joined.
Arlene's our special guest for today, who will be giving us some business perspective for our discussion today.
Yeah, before I give my business perspective, no, actually, it's not really like that. And, well, I want to start with the word Xiaomi. It's interesting because they use the word Xiaomi. If you translate, you do the literal translate in Chinese, from Chinese to English, it means little rice. So it's quite interesting that they use objects as the name of the company, just like Apple as Apple and Xiaomi as little rice. And one of the reason why I want to highlight about Xiaomi is because of the founder, Lei Jun. And one thing interesting about him, they dupe him as the China's answer to Steve Jobs. And he is, you can consider him as the China's answers to Steve Jobs, because he is actually quite successful even before, the hype of Xiaomi phones. Let me just name a few of his other occupation. Besides being the founder, chairman, and CEO of Xiaomi Tech, he's also the executive director of Kingsoft, chairman of UC Web Inc., founder of Amazon China, chairman of YY.com, I don't know what is that, chairman of Great Wall Club. And what is interesting about this is he has this Steve Jobs visionary attitude in him. He even copied his style, black shirt and jeans. And besides that, his presentation, when it comes to the presentation of his Xiaomi, it seems like he is very much, copying every slides of the Steve Jobs way of presenting Apple. And that's interesting. To those who are criticizing him, would say that he's copying, or he's trying to pirating the whole Apple culture that Steve Jobs have founded, and he's trying to make it a China thing. And something about piracy, when people think about Chinese product from China, they always say that, oh, maybe it's pirated. They always copy people. They are the best pirates there to copy all the great products out there and then sell it at a knockoff price.
That's when the people lose their credential towards the Chinese products.
But when I was in South Korea, I still remember I hardly see any Chinese product.
Because we make our own products and then we export
Samsung.
our products to other countries and then they're accepted by the people and people do trust our products, Korean products. Yes. And
Gowri, I'm just wondering, right? When it comes to Xiaomi, would you buy Xiaomi? If it is since it's a hype in Indonesia, India, and all the other emerging countries.
It is a hype, but I'm actually pretty happy with my HTC at the moment because I've had this phone for 3 years and honestly I never had any problem with it. Not once I had to send it to the shop and now I'm promoting HTC, but
a lot of people are promoting HTC.
Yeah,
actually.
it's amazing. So for now, maybe I don't have plans to change yet, but maybe in the future if this phone gives in, I might consider.
Give it a try, right?
Yeah.
So you being an iPhone fan,
I'm not only iPhone fan, but also Apple fan.
I can see that. You have a MacBook.
I have a lot of Apple.
Where's your Korean spirit there? I thought Koreans supposed to buy Samsung.
Talking about Korean spirit, I am so sorry. Leave me out of this topic, please. Yes, but yes. Okay, just to correct the Xiaomi the pronunciation, it's actually called Xiaomi. Yeah, so pardon our pronunciation here. And Xiaomi, it's 3.5-year-old company already.
It is. It only started as an idea in 2010, and then it's formally launched in 2011. And what is interesting about this company, in any tech company, either it's Facebook, Apple or any other tech company, there's always an angel investor. Guess who was the angel investor for Xiaomi? One of it is actually Temasek Holdings from Singapore.
Interesting. And this particular company, they sells the products to China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan so far. And like I shortly mentioned, they're also targeting to other countries like Turkey, Mexico, and Russia, who have the one of the highest ranking in using smartphones.
Yeah, but is the main target of Xiaomi is the emerging markets, and I mean some of the emerging markets besides China, Indonesia, as you mentioned, and also Turkey is Hong Kong, Singapore, Hungary, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Mexico, and Brazil. And these are emerging economies because they have an increased number of middle class in their society, and these are the target group of people that Xiaomi is will be selling their products
at affordable price for those
in fact,
people.
It's very cheap. That is, I mean, not very cheap as in the Malaysian understanding of very cheap. It's cheaper than
Apple
and Samsung. But the technology is still there. That's the important thing.
The quality is still there, right?
Yeah. And as reported by the businessweek.com, it also says that one of the edge of Xiaomi,
Gowri, you have to go
also
to China.
They don't go for the conventional method like you guys mentioned earlier. It's not in stores. You actually have to order it online. They also avoid conventional advertising, and they
cost a lot of money.
That's right,
and billions in fact.
There is no celebrity. There's no celebrity. What you call endorsing. That's the word, right? And
it is exactly like Apple. I mean, Apple also do not believe in having celebrity to endorse it. Apple rely a lot on advertising, of course, but at the same time, it also rely a lot on innovation. It used to be a very innovative company, like you said earlier. Now it has somehow become a bit
slowed down,
a bit lackluster.
And another interesting thing is it only spends 1% of its revenue for marketing, as opposed to most other corporations. They spend a huge amount on R&D to do their research, to do their marketing, and it seems that they are going for price marketing. We know it's cheap, we know it's affordable, we know it's better, but then it just takes that thing away.
And also, the CEO of Xiaomi, Lei Jun, said, "We are not just some cheap Chinese company making a cheap phone. We are going to be a Fortune 500 company." That's what he said. And also, what separates a Xiaomi from other smartphone manufacturers is from Apple and Samsung, it's a strategy that it, like Gowri you mentioned, in terms of marketing and then selling the products.
And also for the Mi3 or any Xiaomi phone, it's a great deal for you to. It says here if you're lucky to snag one, because there is a huge demand for this, and like we saw earlier, they only make they make it in batches. So when they make one batch, when it's done, then it's just done.
Yes.
They don't make it in huge amounts, and then they don't get to sell it. So it's very limited, and it seems that it's always being pre-booked as well.
And also, it's sort of a place with people's mind to buy this particular product, because if they don't buy at a particular season, then they just have to wait for the next one, and they don't know when they will release the next one. So it's a really good strategy, I will say.
And China also does well when it comes to, because earlier we were talking about sort of copying the style of iPhone, and even how the CEO actually copies the style of Steve Jobs. But I guess when someone of Steve Jobs, he passes away, and there's no one to really step up
yes.
and to fill that gap. And I think the current director of Apple,
Legend, yeah.
he actually failed to, maybe not fail, but he's not as successful to step into Steve Jobs' shoes.
You mean the current of the
yes,
Apple? Okay.
And they're like we also discussed earlier, they're not as innovative anymore, and it's just not the same feeling you get when Steve Jobs was around. So Lei Jun, I guess, stepped up, and he's trying to be the next one to fill into Steve Jobs' shoes, but he's also doing it in a different way. He didn't use all the exact marketing strategies like Apple did. He's actually going for his own his
methods,
his own strategies.
And also, it's very interesting to read because we mentioned about limited marketing spread. So the Xiaomi isn't even a blip on most American radar. Despite that, the company is still managed to sell over 7 million devices in 2012, which is a couple of years ago, and it expects to do more than double that in 2013.
So I have an article here from South China Morning Post where it says Xiaomi founder Lei Jun donates 93 million worth of stocks to employees. So each of his employee will actually receive 1,000 shares worth about $23,000 in total.
Profits, wow.
So he's not only doing it for himself, he's also encouraging he actually just donated it to them, and make sure that they have something going for them as well. And it's not just about making profit, about putting it into marketing, advertising, and R&D. He actually cares about his workers, and he takes them into consideration and makes sure that they have a substantial amount of income.
Oh, and also some of the issues that this company might have faced so far is they can be described as uniquely Chinese. Like just now we mentioned that a lot of people have dropped their credits when it comes to Chinese product, and this is indeed from China itself. But just by looking at the statistics so far, the people started liking this product, and then a lot more other countries around this China has started to demand to buy more phones from Xiaomi.
And this phone is also continuing its overseas expansion. It also, of course, came to Malaysia, where it is being taken up by our service providers like DG, Maxis, and all. And DG is offering some very lucrative packages for people who wants to buy Xiaomi. And it's...
But again, they don't have a physical places that we can go and see, just the online purchasing products.
And I think in Malaysia itself, so far, it seems that they have raked in $277 for the MI3 first.
And that's pretty affordable.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It goes back to smartphones these days, are getting really, really expensive. For a brand new iPhone, you spend at least 2,600 ringgit or 2,800 ringgit.
Yes,
that's
even
up to
with the packages that we are going for, still it is quite pricey, I will say.
It costs up to 3K, just for a phone. So when something like this comes up,
it catches people's attention.
It's you don't even have to think about it. Everyone is gonna go for it, and
so I think that's where Legion is focusing his marketing strategy in to be able to buy people's mind, because when it comes to buying phones and paying with their own money, it's very sensitive. So it is one of the really good attraction points from Xiaomi.
And of course, that also means that they are actually doing it by sourcing them. That'll be the word. Because they don't have a physical store. So in order to actually get their phones to other countries, they have to pay someone, like in this case, the service providers in each country, to actually pick up the phone and market it for them. And but of course, it can be found online. And I mean, even looking at the phone here, it's very slim. It's
sleek, and then it's colorful.
Pretty much resembles the Nokia in a way.
Yes, like I mentioned, like Nokia or some of the products like HTC. Yes. And many other Chinese companies have attempted to break out of this mainland in the past decades. For example, like Huawei is also the biggest company that we can mention, but it's not viewed as the top tier option in Europe and North America.
Another thing that I want to bring up is also the fact that Xiaomi is using Android 4.4, which is also called KitKat. So the interesting thing about Android is they always have names of food for their software, like the gingerbread, honeycomb, ice cream sandwich, jelly bean, and now
it's
this
also
one.
It's also a strategy for people to remember what they're using.
So this one will be KitKat. And of course, with this, they have a lot of new features. From external storage to web view, alarm manager, content resolver, and even printing images. A lot of new features that comes with this Android 4.4. And this article that I have here, techradar.com, says that this version, the KitKat version, if you look at the logo here, it's actually red and white, which really resembles KitKat. Even in the image itself, it has very close resemblance to it.
So it's easier to remember as well.
And it seems that the Chinese government spyware and the flaky OS function, spending more and getting a phone that will there's not been much written about how long actually this phone can last, mostly because it's still new. Whereas when it comes to iPhone or Samsung, we know they have a reputation because they've been around for a long time. People have been using them, and we know what are the problems that you face. But with Xiaomi, yes, so far the reviews are amazing. They're cheap, they're this, they're that. But at the same time, we don't really know what are the problems that may occur when you're using a Xiaomi phone.
But people have been using the Xiaomi phone, and popularity is increasing. But it's just that there are just minor problems, but they are not highlighted as in like from iPhones, Apple, and also Samsung that had probably Legion himself also found all those issues from other products, and he came up with his solution to prevent from having these problems in these smartphones.
And going back to Forbes.com, it has actually an article written about the CEO of Xiaomi. And he is doing pretty well, even financially, although he donated a huge amount of the company's stock profits to his workers. And we'll have to see how it goes. We're actually running out of time for our discussion. But so far, based on all our comparison, of course, like every product, it has its pros and cons. It's definitely cheaper, but then again, if you look at the 4.4 KitKat, it's some people call it a mockery of the iOS 7 because of the way it was designed, even the use of colors, but it's still good. It's still stable,
and it's got it's a quite bright vision. The Xiaomi company itself, and the way how Leijun, the CEO of the company, has come with his own strategy so far, we can expect some a positive feedback from this company.
Right. So I think that will be all for our discussion today. I hope our listeners kind of get some information about Xiaomi, about how it's different from
other
Samsung
companies.
and Apple, and is it actually gonna take over as the new smartphone king, as you earlier put it.
Yes. So, but don't forget to tune into our website, durianasean.com, and then we also have other channels at Facebook and YouTube, and please leave your feedbacks to all those channels.
Right. So we're saying goodbye for now. We will see you guys again on Monday with new topics and speakers.
That's correct. Bye bye.